Call Yum Yabashim Yashabashim Rakakadash Barakatham. Double honors to the elder apostles at Great Millstone, who taught me this knowledge and information. Salutations to you, brothers on the highways and byways, teaching the truth and truth sincerity. We're risking our lives to teach this information, teach the Lord's name, which is Yahweh Yahushai in the Paleo Hebrew. We are the chosen people of the Lord. All right, we understand our heritage. We know who we are based on the curses and historical outline of the true people of the Lord. All right, and that's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, what we have here in front of us is an article. It says, once in a lifetime opportunity for Israel. It's the state of Israel. All right, N.A.T.O to join Trump and no Palestinians to unveil deal of the century. Now, this is just some article that RT is on RT here, but furthermore documenting the friendship between America and the state of Israel. This is to be noted and documented because they are strong allies, as well as NATO. All right, and then in the combination of the state of Israel, NATO, and America, they form the strong arm of the central banks. All right, and that's the global powerhouse military. You know, the global inquisitions that have ceased to from continue going on for like 30 years. America's only been at a state of being not at war for like 30 years. Revelations 2:7. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. And that's when heaven is made on earth. All right, the kingdom of heaven will come down on earth, will descend to earth. All right, via Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the Holy Host, led by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, and the tree of life is going to the elect and the 1/3 that receive immortality. All right, through the crown of life. All right, because they subscribe to the laws of righteousness. All right, it says, and unto the angel of the church in Smyrna write, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And we're rich in spirit as Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because we have a rich cultural heritage, through the Lord. History before it was documented in the format of white supremacy, was with us at the helm of that, when we fell in our former estate. But again, we went off from following the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the laws of life. All right. And so we're in a low estate and in captivity until Yahweh Bashim Yahushai comes to return to redeem his elect with the Holy Host. All right, the so-called UFOs. All right, but the state of Israel right now, that they declare themselves the Lord's people and are not. Let's deal with what the scriptures say. It says, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy, all right, which goes to the word blasphemeo, all right, which means mockery, all right, of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And that's the representation of the structure of government that we see in the world today. All right. And that's in the format of America, Babylon the Great. All right, represented by this clown Donald Trump. All right, and then NATO with its prime minister, and then the state of Israel with its prime minister here, as seen, so-called Netanyahu, as a so-called Jew, representing the state of Israel, quote, and that's the central bankers, man. the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And so the covering of the faces of the judges is the real identity of the Lord's people. You know, we're capable of breaking down these scriptures spiritually. We were given the essence by the Lord, by God himself, to understand the prophecies, all right, and the usage of these scriptures, man. There's a proper way to utilize the Lord's will, and then there's the way that Esau has used the scriptures. Get out. And you know, he painted his face with white supremacy in the image of Cesare Borgia, or Cesare Borgia. We're gonna get a picture of him up on the screen here in a minute. All right, and then through the Renaissance, and then through the reformatting of the world through Esau's rulership, here we are. You know, I just woke up this morning and had seen this article, and I was, this has been up for a day or so, but I just thought it was funny, because the elites, they know, it's really a joke to the masses, that they don't understand that they're in a status of captivity right now, economic captivity. But here we are, we're moving into times where the Lord's going to bring great judgment on the world. All right. He's going to revisit the world as we know it today, which he hasn't done for a very long time. All right. And the world will bear witness to God again, as in the early times of the creation of the world. All right. In Egypt, when we were in captivity in Egypt, he visited. And he's going to visit again. It's been a long time since he has last visited, and that's Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And so as the elites mock the world for their lack of knowledge, all right, we have the true information and the 100% truth, starting with the other apostles at Great Millstone, allowing everybody to know that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans on base ethnic origin are the true people of the Lord, and not these false synagogues of Satan that declare themselves Jews but have no Messiah to back them up, that have no biblical backup to their identity, and is pretty much the reason why the remainder of the world is at war with the state of Israel right now in the Middle East, because a lot of those countries, they know that those aren't the real people of the Lord, That's why there's always been a status of conflict over there. And of course, with that land, but it's been accursed ever since we've been fallen from power. And I say we fallen from power, I'm speaking about Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. 2 Thessalonians 2:9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And that's talking about Yahushua. They murdered him before. He's the king of the Israelites, of our people. All right. The world, ignorantly named him Jesus Christ, but the true Messiah, the anointed, his name is Yahushua HaMashiach in Paleo Hebrew. All right, so they received not his love. He performed many miracles for the world when he walked the earth, and the world rejected him. And so, in terms of his second coming, he's going to be, not so friendly, because the world prior murdered him and murdered all of his disciples. And you got to remember, the image of the Lord is as he made Adam, which would be a so-called Negro in appearance, with woolly hair and a woolly beard, woolly attributes, and dark melanated skin of the earth and of the ground. All right. But so since they rejected Yahushua Mashiach and they reject this truth today, you see how frowned upon Great Millstone is, and the elder apostles at Great Millstone are. How much, um, you know, people try to paint, you know, pictures of us, and it's all simply because they, what it goes down to at the end of the day is they hate the Lord. They hate the name Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. They hate the Lord. Verse 11 says, "And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness." And so, since the world enjoys pleasure in unrighteousness, and the lack of keeping the will and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, which would be in the form of the law, statutes, commandments. All right. All right, but then in addition to that, they have joined in unrighteous acts, man. These Edomites, they've led the world into mass economic slavery in the form of corporate, pyramid schemes where you got to be ethnically, positioned, and with your family, and you know let's just say the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poor. All set up that way on purpose. But we're at the bottom of all of this because we're, I say we, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those of us in the spirit that may not appear like them in appearance, but in the spirit we believe unto the name Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We may not look like so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, but that's the base understanding of the origin of our people in appearance. All right. Before all the mixing and dispersion of our people around the world.